So Jen and I have had this opportunity to go down this amazing journey of founding Mortgage 360 and really creating the mortgage brokerage that we would want to be a part of. The one that, when we got into the industry, if we could have waved our magic wand and joined any type of brokerage, this is the one that we would have wanted to join the day that we joined. We started by looking at everything we thought was wrong with the industry. That started with the splits. I mean, one of the things that bothers us most about the industry is when a brand new person comes in, they're often set up with a mentor, and that mentor, offers to mentor them for their first 5 or 6 deals and then take 50%. And really what we figured out was that when you're making $2,000 or $3,000 on a deal and you're giving half away in your first 4 or 5 deals, and you may not get one of those deals for the first 5 or 6 months, it almost becomes impossible to survive in the industry. So the failure rate's really high. So what we started recently was what we call our Quick Start program, where what we do is we allow somebody to come in and work for their first 6 months free. We waive the splits, we waive the fair share, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and we basically give them the opportunity to launch themselves into the industry. And we don't expect everybody to succeed, but we think the success rate will be significantly higher. And what's important to us is that we take great people and give them the opportunity to succeed instead of flunking out of an industry that's hard to begin with. So let's talk about the fair share. One of the cool things about our company is everybody from a brand new person to the founders pays the same amount. All we do is on an annual basis, we take the budget that it costs us to run the company and we split that amongst the number of agents that we have. Everybody knows what everybody else is paying. There's no special deals, and it really gives us the opportunity to create a level playing field. One of the other cool things we do is we treat everybody as if they're a partner or an owner. In fact, everybody is an owner. Everybody's given the option to purchase into the company and own a part so that if one day we get sold, they get an opportunity to collect on the profits from the company. Because if you take a look at the industry over the last few years, when we started as our own brokerage in 2014, there was essentially 10 what we call super brokers. Of the 10 super brokers, 7 are now amalgamated into 2 companies. Well, really what's happened is there's been 7 guys who own those super brokers that have essentially collected agents without providing a ton of value. I mean, really when margins are down to 3%, how much value can they really provide? So what we want to see is an environment where if one day we do get sold or one day we do declare a dividend, that everybody who works with us gets to participate in the fruits of what they've helped create. At Mortgage 360, there's 3 things that guide us. The first is our core values. The second is our vision for what we want to be. And the third is the culture. We know if we get the culture right, everything else takes care of itself. But let's talk about our core values first. So our core values are something that we've come up with recently, and they've been inspired by 2 companies. One is Fiasco Gelato and the other is Zappos out of the States, which is known for its culture. If you haven't read Tony Hsieh's book, Delivering Happiness, it's a must read. So let's talk about our core values real fast. There's a few things that really stand out for us. First of all, our whole company is built around being fair and honest. That's why everybody pays the same amount, whether they're a founder or whether they're brand new to the industry. The second big one that stands out for me as I look at our core values right now is doing what's right for the client. Our entire process is driven around what's right for the client, not necessarily what's right for the agent, but making sure that every client is taken care of. We tend to drive the process and let clients make the decisions. We don't select mortgages for people. We're a conduit to help take the stress out of the mortgage process. I guess you could call it a step-down transformer. We believe in being the awesome you want to see in the world, so being a maker, not a taker. We definitely do a lot of work within the community, a lot of charity work. That's a cornerstone of our company. We try to do as much as possible. We do less with more is one of our big core values. So trying to get the most out of every dollar. Obviously, we share the budget. Our books are always open, so we definitely try to make sure that every penny is spent wisely. We're a knowledge-based company. Core value: pursue knowledge. Very important to us. Making sure that all of our people are continually growing and getting better. And being open and transparent, that's huge. Like I said, our books are open all the time. You can walk into the office at any time and see what the financials look like, see where we're spending our money, and know that there isn't somebody who's being treated differently than you or or a lack of transparency. And most importantly of all of this, like I said, when we started the company, we wanted to build a company that Jen and I would want to be at if we were starting in the industry. And a big part of that is being innovative and forward thinking. That is the cornerstone of our industry. In fact, that's the cornerstone of our business.